Hi guys, my name is Chanel, your Shopper's Beauty Pro, and welcome to the Beauty for the Glow Chaser Masterclass. This is to celebrate the joy of fresh new beginnings as part of the Shoppers Drug Mart for the Love of Beauty event. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know, don't hesitate to ask any questions throughout this video. Even though we'll have a Q&A at the end, you can always leave your questions in the chat box below the stream. We'd love to hear from you. Today, I'll be showing you how to achieve a fresh face, glowy look with these easy, simple tips and tricks right at the comfort of your home in just 40 minutes. Since I want to focus more on the face, how to prep it, prime it, I went ahead and did my eyebrows off camera in a simple eye look using the same products that we will be using later on the face. Talk about multi-purpose, right? I hope you're as excited as I am. Get ready to blend, and let's get started. A fresh face, glowy look always starts with a good skincare routine. I've already washed and toned my face, so now I'm going to apply my La Roche-Posay Retinol B3 Serum. This serum is meant to be used at night, but since we are using it in the morning, you want to make sure that you apply SPF with it. Retinol is such an effective ingredient. It helps with fine lines, wrinkles, skin texture, and even sun damage. So I took a little bit of it on my fingertips, and we're just going to start applying it across our face. I'm doing really gentle tapping and blending motion all over the face to avoid any tugging or pulling, because that might create premature wrinkles. So you just want to be very gentle when applying any face products in general. So while I'm waiting for my serum to fully absorb into my skin, let's talk about SPF. On the days that I will be wearing makeup, I love to use the La Roche-Posay Anthelios Ultra Fluid SPF 50 lotion. It's lightweight, it absorbs very quickly into the skin, and it's perfect underneath makeup. But on the days that I feel like my skin is a little bit oilier, you can go ahead and use the Vichy Ideal Soleil Anti-Shine Dry Touch Lotion. And as for recommended amount, I say about half a teaspoon for your entire face, and don't forget about the neck. Now that my serum is fully absorbed, I'm going to go ahead and start applying my moisturizer. I'm just going to push my hair back a little bit. So for my moisturizer, I'm going to be using the Origins Ginseng Glow Boosting Gel Moisturizer. I love this moisturizer. It's perfect to use before makeup. It has a little bit of a slight tint to it. It's lightweight, it's oil-free, it goes underneath makeup so nice. So I'm going to use about, I would say, this much for my face. And again, I'm just gonna warm that up on my fingertips first and start applying it onto my face. This moisturizer gives your skin this really beautiful natural glow. It keeps my skin super hydrated, plus it smells amazing. It smells like citrus. So again, we're just going to slowly apply that onto our skin, avoiding any tugging or pulling, but making sure that everything is blended. And again, don't forget about the neck, and make sure you do upwards motion, defying gravity. So what I like to do whenever I do my makeup and skincare routine, I always keep a handheld fan in my vanity, like something like this. It just helps your product dry a little bit faster into your skin. Plus, it's like really fun to have, and it makes you feel and look a little bit bougie, you know? Okay, well, now that my skin is well moisturized, we're going to start priming our skin. So a lot of people ask me how I keep my skin looking fresh with no creasing whatsoever throughout the day. And that is because I take time into priming my skin. It's kind of like when you paint a wall. You want to make sure that you prime your skin so that products stick to it better. For today's primer, I will be using the Smashbox Photo Finish Vitamin Glow Primer. This primer is packed with vitamins B, C, E, and antioxidant to boost your natural glow. It's lightweight, and it's a water gel formula as well, and it makes your skin look and feel super smooth. So I'm going to take a couple pumps of that, again, just on my fingers, And again, we're going to warm up the product first and start applying it onto my skin. So when choosing a primer, you want to make sure that you listen to your skin. If you are oily, opt for a mattifying primer. If you're dry, water-based primers or oil-based primers will do the trick for you. And if you are more of like a combination skin, then you can always double prime. And that is using 2 different primers to address both of your skin types. Do you guys have any Holy Grail primers that you would like to share? Let us know in the chat box, or if you have any tips or tricks that you would like to share as well. My favorite tip is when you are using a pore filling primer, you want to make sure that you do like a tapping and pressing motion into your skin instead of just rubbing it in. If you rub it in, since it's a pore filling primer, it kind of just sits on top of your skin. But if you push it, the warmth on your fingers actually push the product better into your skin. Okay, now that we are primed, we're going to start doing our foundation routine. And I don't really go for a full coverage look for my everyday makeup routine, but I'm going to show you a trick how to achieve a flawless base without looking heavy or cakey. For today's foundation, I will be using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation in the shade 120 Classic Ivory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a tiny bit of this. I'm going to start with a little amount first, just on the back of my hand. So just probably that much. We're going to start with that much. And you're going to take your mirror. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my mirror and kind of like address most of the areas that I feel like needs a little bit more coverage. So for me, that will be my T-zones. I'm going to start applying my foundation on the center of my face first, where I need the most coverage. And we're going to start with like a thin layer first. And then I'm going to take my dampened Quo Beauty sponge and we're going to start tapping it away. So you want to make sure that you start off with a thin layer first and just build your coverage slowly to avoid not only wasting your product, but thin layers will ensure that your foundation won't crease. I don't really like the feel of foundation on my face. So doing this method will ensure I will get really good coverage without using too much product. Plus, the thinner the layers are, the faster it will absorb onto your skin and the lesser makeup will transfer, especially right now that we are all wearing masks. If you do like thin layer first, lesser foundation will transfer onto your mask. I want to know if whenever you apply your foundation or any of your liquid bases in general, do you use a sponge or do you use a sponge? A sponge or a brush? I personally like using a sponge. I feel like it gives more of like a natural skin like look, and it just looks a little bit more like just it lets your imperfections still peek through, but you get a little bit more coverage, I feel like. Okay, now that we're all blended, I'm gonna check and see if I want to go in for one more round, and I think I'm okay with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my concealer and I'm going to show you a concealer hack that will completely change the way how your face looks. It will look a little bit more lifted, plus it would look like you had 8 hours of sleep. So for my concealer, I'm actually going to be using 2 shades. It is from the Clinique Even Better All Over Concealer Plus Eraser. I am obsessed with this concealer. It has a really nice applicator that is meant to target hard to reach areas such as the side of your nose, your inner corner. Plus, on the other end, you get another applicator that is meant to blur and blend your concealer. So I'm going to use, like I said, 2 shades. The first shade that I'm going to use is CN10 Alabaster. It is a little bit lighter than my foundation, and I'm going to focus this color for underneath my eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little C motion on my inner corner first. Since you have natural darkness here, you want to make sure that you do this little method, and then I'm going to take a little bit of it just on the outer corner and kind of like doing the 3 dots, lifting it up. This will give you a natural highlighted effect. And then I'm going to take a little bit of it on top of my brows as well. So I'm going to do one side of my eye first so that you can see the concealer trick that I'm about to show you. This concealer has a vitamin C, which is meant to help with discoloration, and it also has hyaluronic acid that will help plump up the lines underneath your eyes. Doing this trick will give you that lifted, highlighted effect without using too much product or putting on too much concealer. And the formulation of this concealer is beautiful. It blends in so nice. It doesn't look or feel heavy underneath the eyes as well. But I mean, like you can see right away, this eye looks much lifted compared to this eye. So again, we're going to do the same trick. I'm going to take our concealer, do a little C on our inner corner, and do 3 dots going upwards to get that lifted look. And I'm going to take that on my eyebrows as well. Again, taking my dampened Quo Beauty sponge, I'm going to start tapping it away. And whenever I do my concealer, I try my best to look up to avoid any creasing whatsoever. And I'm trying to be very gentle with it, but making sure that I'm blending it very nicely as well, because you definitely don't want to see any harsh lines or anything like that. And on top of your brows. Do you guys have any favorite foundation concealer combo? I find that once you find the perfect combo, it's very hard to kind of like try new things, because you have to take in consideration like the formula, your skin type, the undertone. Well, the good news is this concealer actually comes in 30 different shades. You can definitely find the perfect tone for you. So now I'm going to grab my second concealer, and I'm using the shade WN04 Bone. The tone on this one is a little bit closer to my foundation, and I'm going to use this specific shade on certain areas where I feel like my foundation wasn't able to really cover. Again, you're going to take your mirror, identify the areas where you want a little bit more love. So for me, that will be the side of my nose, because I do get a little bit of redness there. And as you can see, this applicator really just gets in there. And then I'm going to take a little bit of it on my nose and then on my chin as well. I do have a little bit of discoloration there. I think I'm good for now. So I'm just going to go ahead and start tapping it away. How are we doing so far? Are you blending with me? Are you taking down notes? I want to know. Every time I do my foundation and concealer, I really make sure that every time I blend, I go ahead and check it and just kind of make sure that there's no harsh lines or anything like that, because that is the worst. It's like you feel like everything is blended and then you see a little line and then you feel like there's just like a disconnect with like the color. So doing this to really make sure everything is blended in seamlessly. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I might add a little bit more, just a tiny bit more on my chin. And then going in again with my sponge and tapping it away. I try my best to not be like super harsh when I'm like tapping my sponge in. You want to make sure you still are very gentle. Okay, Now that that's blended into our liking, I like to quickly set my foundation and concealer in place. So for that, I'm actually going to use a setting spray. And my setting spray for today is the Quo Beauty Set and Seal setting spray. I love this setting spray. The applicator in this one is amazing. I don't know if you can see, but just the spray is just beautiful. I'm a sucker for a good, even application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like not do it like super, super close to your face, just a little bit farther, and then just start spraying it. And take your handy dandy fan and just start fanning it away. See, this fan comes in handy. You can use it for your skincare, for your setting spray. So if you want, you can definitely set your makeup in place with a powder. Highly suggest if you are going to be using a powder, go for a banana colored powder for underneath your eyes to help brighten and illuminate. And then for the rest of your face, Maybelline actually has a corresponding powder foundation that matches your liquid foundation perfectly. So after doing one round of setting spray, I'm going to go back in again with my sponge and press everything in again. So this ensures everything just kind of melts into your skin. And, you know, you can never be too sure. You want to make sure everything is blended in. Again, doing tapping motions, especially underneath your eyes. Okay, perfect. Now that our skin is even out, we want to bring life back into our skin, and that is with the help of bronzer and blush. For today's palette, I'm going to be using my all-time favorite. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Collection, and it looks like this, and it comes in this very handy palette. It is an exclusive collection with Shoppers Drug Mart, and it comes essentially with 6 items inside. So you get your bronzer, your blush, and you also get your highlighter. It's very convenient. I absolutely love this palette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start bronzing my face. So every time I contour and highlight, I always do the sun concept. So basically imagine that the sun is on top of you. Where you see darkness, that's where you bronze or you contour. Where you see lightness, that's where you highlight. So for me, I'm going to take my Quo Beauty large powder brush. This brush is like super fluffy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take Sunset Bronzer, which is this one right here. I'm just going to saturate that powder on my brush, tap off any excess, and I'm going to start applying this on the areas where I want to bronzer to contour. So for that, I'm going to do the side of my face, a little bit on my jawline, and then whatever's left, I take it on my temples. If you could just smell this palette, it smells beautiful. And the formulation is absolutely amazing. It blends in so nice. It's very pigmented. A little bit goes a really long way. That's why I'm starting off with like thin layer first, and I can just like add a little bit more if I want to. I'm going to do the other side of my face. So again, that's gonna be on my cheeks, a little bit on my temples, and then a little bit on my jawline as well. Grab my mirror. I always like to do a little bit in here too to kind of hide a little bit of my double chin. I think I'm pretty happy with how my bronzer is looking. Maybe just one more pass, just a little bit over here. Okay, now that's done, I'm going to contour my nose just a tiny bit. So I'm going to grab my Quo Beauty double-ended brush, and I'm going to use this angled one right here. And I'm actually going to mix just the tiniest bit of Sunset Bronzer and Deep Bronzer. And that's the beauty of these palettes. You literally just have it all in one convenient packaging, and you can mix and match shades. So I'm going to contour just a little bit, side of my nose. And then I'm going to take a little bit over here as well. Oops. I'm going to go ahead and grab my sponge and kind of like help blend everything in, because I feel like I put a little bit too much. Just a slight contour. I love contouring my nose. Do you guys love contouring? There's still a very big debate if contouring is still like a big thing. I personally think contouring is here to stay, at least for me. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how my bronzer is looking. So now I'm gonna go ahead and apply color with blush. I'm going to use my favorite Quo beauty brush of all time. This is the tapered blush brush. And I'm actually going to mix Wildflower and Apricot, I think. Yeah, I'm going to mix those two shades, just kind of going in back and forth. Tap off any excess. You can definitely change how your face shape looks with just like contouring and especially blush. If you want to get more of like a youthful look, then you can go ahead and apply your blush more towards the apples of your cheek. But I'm going for a more lifted look. So I'm going to start applying it over here and blending it upwards. I love blush. I think blush and highlighter definitely completes any makeup look. And don't be afraid to use, blush. I do find a lot of people are like, oh, I don't wear blush as often. Blush gives you such like a youthful look depending on how you apply it onto your skin or how you apply it onto your face. I'm going to take the same two shades and take a little bit of that. Just kind of like on the bridge of your nose, my nose. I love this method. When you actually like tan, you get a little bit of redness on like the bridge of your nose, and I kind of want to fake that with just the look of blush. Okay. I think I'm pretty happy with how my blush and my bronzer looks. Now it is time for the glow. I'm going to be using two different products for my highlighter. The first product that I will be using today is the Benefit WhatsApp Cream Highlighter. Cream highlighters are perfect for that natural glow, and it also is perfect if you have more of like a drier skin, or if for humid weather as well. This is going to be perfect for you. So what I like to do is I like to take my cream highlighter and apply it at the back of my hand just to warm up the product. And then I take my fingertips. I mean, you can use the applicator that comes with this cream highlighter as well, but I guess I'm just going to use my fingertips for this one. So I'm going to take a little bit of that cream highlighter on the back of my hand, and I'm going to identify the areas that I want to highlight. So that for me, that will be like the high points of my face. So that's on my cheekbones and a little bit on my forehead as well. Cream highlighters give you that like, oh, I just woke up like this, but I'm just naturally glowy look. I'm obsessed. I love it. I'm going to do one more round, warming it again at the back of my hand. And then I'm going to apply some on the other side, the high points of my cheeks. And whatever's left, I'm going to take the tiniest bit, just kind of like on the bridge of my nose. Do you guys see that glow? It's so beautiful. It's still like, it just looks like you have like healthy looking glowy skin. And considering we layered products already, this glow is just so beautiful. I'm pretty happy with how my glow is looking, but I want to take it up a notch. So I'm actually going to use a powder highlighter on top of my cream highlighter. So I'm going to grab my Quo Beauty double-ended brush again, and I'm going to use this applicator right here. It's a little bit more precise, And again, I'm going to take my handy dandy Physicians Formula palette, and I'm going to use the shade Whimsical, which is in that one right there. It's such a beautiful highlighter. Just going to saturate my brush with that, tap off any excess, and then again, I'm just gonna go on the areas where I've already applied my highlighter, but intensify it again. I mean, just look at that glow. Look at that highlight. I'm going to take again a little bit of my forehead and the other side of my cheekbones. Do you guys have any favorite highlighters right now? Highlighters definitely became like a big thing, I would say, like last year. Before, everyone would stray away from like highlighters, but now it's like everywhere, and I'm obsessed with it because I love the glow. Okay, let me take a step back and no, I'm pretty happy with the glow. Are you pretty happy with your glow? Let us know in the chat box. So what I'm going to do before I move on to my next step, I'm going to take my Quo Beauty setting spray again and just do one more spritz. Just a quick spritz all over my face. I like to do this trick, especially after you've applied any powder products. It just kind of helps melt everything into your skin. Kind of just like sets it all in place as well. Okay, how is your skin looking? How is your highlight looking? I'm pretty happy with mine. Well, remember the eye look that I promised you a while ago? Well, I actually used, again, the same palette that we use on the face, and I just did like a very simple eye look using Sunset Bronzer and Deep Bronzer just on my lids. I'm actually going to show you how I'm going to finish this quick and easy everyday makeup look. So I'm going to take my Quo Beauty double-ended sponge brush. There is a smudge brush on the other end, and I'm going to mix these two shades right here, Deep Bronzer and Sunset Bronzer. I'm getting too excited, that's why I'm stuttering, so bear with me. And I'm just going to take that on my lower lash line, and I'm just going to finish off my eye look. Do you guys have any go-to eye look? For me, definitely this is like my everyday eye look. It's just bronzy, blended very seamlessly, nothing too crazy for every day. There's tons of beautiful palettes that have been released lately, and I'm obsessed with like the jewel tones right now, which is like the current trend for fall. Do you guys follow any fall makeup trends? I think it's like my favorite season for sure because it's all like the rich colors. Okay, so I just did that, kind of just finish off my eye look, and then I'm going to take Whimsical again, which is our highlighter shade right there, and I'm going to apply that on my inner corner to brighten up my eye look just a little bit more. It's going to take it there. This trick is also really good if you feel like you look a little bit tired. It gives you that wide eye look, and it makes you look a little bit more awake. If you want, you can take a little bit of that as well and apply it underneath your brow bone for like a subtle highlight there. Okay, we are almost done, but we cannot forget about the lips. For my lips, I'm going to be using the Quo Beauty Lip Boost Plumping Gloss in the shade Basic, and it just looks like this. It's just a beautiful everyday lip color. Glosses are so in right now, and it's perfect for every day. It's quick, it's easy, it keeps my lips hydrated. It adds just like a sheer color to it. Plus it smells yummy. I love the formula on this one because it's non-drying. I want to know, for your everyday lip combo, do you do like the full shebang of like lip liner and you do your lipstick and then a gloss? For me, I feel like it completely changed past couple months. I'm now a very much lip gloss wearer or like a lip balm wearer, just something quick and easy. I mean, that color is super, super cute. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but getting ready for me will not be complete without a beautiful fragrance. For today's fragrance, I will be using the Giorgio Armani My Way Eau de Perfume. I guarantee you this will be your next signature scent. It's a classic floral with notes of orange blossom, tuberose, and vanilla. So what I like to do is I like to apply it on my pulse points. So for me, that will be the wrist to the other side, and then I take a little bit of it at the back of my ear as well. And then I also do a little bit on the hair. It's subtle yet effective. And you want to make sure that you don't rub your fragrance, because if you do that, you actually break down the notes, causing for your fragrance to wear off a little bit quicker than usual. Okay, we are done with our makeup look. Now it is time for a Q&A, and our first question comes from Sally. How often should you use retinol? Should it go on at night or in the morning? I would say, well, retinol is much more effective at night. It's more of like a nighttime ingredient, I would say. But since like today I used it in the morning, you want to make sure that you use SPF. Retinol is also one of those ingredients that is very effective, but you need to build a little bit of tolerance with it. So like what I always say, you want to make sure that you don't marry retinol right away. You want to do like a speed dating moment first. Slowly introduce your skin to that specific ingredient. It's very effective, but like I said, it's quite potent. So kind of do it maybe like every other day for the first week. And yeah, it's beautiful. It works so, so nice on honestly everyone, I think. Next question is from Olivia. Is the Smashbox primer good for dry skin? Yes. It has it's a water gel based formula. So the formula is actually, well, it's meant, I think, for all skin type, especially if you're more of like a drier skin. It will keep your skin hydrated, but not feel like you're putting on like a thick lotion. It has vitamins B, C, and E, and antioxidants, so it will soften your skin, and it's one of my favorite primers right now for sure. Cara Jane asks, should the shade of concealer you use around your eyes be lighter than your foundation? How do you find the right match if you aren't matching skin tone exact? The reason why I use two different highlighters is concealers, is because I wanted to achieve more of like a highlighted effect. That's the reason why I chose like a lighter concealer for underneath my eyes. Finding your undertone, you can actually just check the veinings on your arms. I don't know if you can see it, but for certain veinings, it kind of matches whatever skin tone there is. There is a neutral tone, a rosy or pink tone, and a little bit more of like a warm olive tone. So for me, I do want to counteract a little bit of the blueness there. So I went ahead with a little bit more of a neutral tone. And then for the rest of my face, I went with a more warmer tone to counteract any redness, and it's a little bit closer to my skin tone. Becca asks, how come you use a setting spray before bronze blush highlight? I usually do this at the end, but am I wrong? No, you are not wrong. For me, one of my favorite tricks to do is after you apply your liquid products, so that will be your foundation and your concealer, I do one round of setting spray because I like to push that foundation and concealer combo into my skin, and using a setting spray kind of helps me do that. Like I said from the very beginning, I like to use thin layers first. I find if I put it on way too much, it just moves, and I feel like it doesn't set as nice as I hope it would be. That's why I do my setting spray actually a couple of times before I do any powders, and then I go in again after I use my powders just to kind of melt everything and just harmonize it all. Angie asks, if you use primer, is it necessary to use a setting spray? I I say yes. Like I said, I've always recommended using setting sprays. You can also even use your setting spray as a primer. There are a couple of companies or brands that do that now, which is super convenient. Setting spray is one of those things, like for me, I left my skin with no powder because I want to keep that glow that I have already achieved for my foundation and concealer. So I opted to not use like any powders. That's why I just went with a setting spray. Super convenient, it's fast, it's easy, and it's perfect for like an everyday makeup look. Jessie asks, how often should I exfoliate my skin? Does it depend on skin type? Yes, it does. It also depends on your skin sensitivity. Um, if you're a little bit drier, you can get away with exfoliating once a week. If you're more of like combination to oily like myself, I like to do it once every 2 weeks. And also, like I said, depends on your skin sensitivity. If you're a little bit more sensitive, or let's say if you have rosacea, I would say don't exfoliate too often because you have more of like an allergic or reactive skin. So you don't want to aggravate that. So you want to keep that in mind for sure. This is going to be the last question from Vanessa. What is the best bronzer for super pale skin? Mine never looks good in winter. I fully know the struggle. I have helped so many clients with that specific question. The great thing is I find that most brands now identify that there's more to just like your regular light medium shades, or like the fair to light skin tones as well. Benefit makes one of the best bronzers, I feel like, for paler, more translucent skin. Their iconic Hoola bronzer now comes in Hoola Light, which is a different undertone than their regular Hoola, and it's perfect if you are more of like a fair skin as well. And yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. Don't forget to check out your email because we will be sending you a full product list and links of all the items that we use today and a special PC Optimum offer just for you. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy your fresh face, glowy look. If you do post your beautiful look on Instagram, don't forget to tag us at Shoppers Beauty with the hashtag Shoppers Beauty Lover, and make sure to check out the last class available for you this Friday. The link will be on the chat box. Again, this is Chanel, your Shoppers Beauty Pro. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe and see you soon. Bye!